And welcome back, everyone, to another live stream on the TKW Facebook page. We are back for another live stream. It has been a while since we had to do one of these, which is nice because it means not much is going on in the weather world. But we are back here again because we do have severe weather possible. We have been mentioning it all day, and I think it was a good idea to just sit down with you just for a little bit to explain what we know, a little bit on uncertainties, and we'll break down everything you need to know so you're 110% ready for tomorrow. And honestly, you see it, same breakdown as always, the timings, we're going to let you know the impacts. There is a tornado threat for most of us. We'll explain that in a little bit. Uncertainties, there is uncertainties, we'll let you know that as well. And of course, if you have any questions throughout the live stream, make sure you put them down in the chat and we'll love to answer them for you. So how's everybody doing this evening? Glad to see you all. It's been a while. A lot of stuff has happened since the last time I saw you guys, and for everyone that was checking up on me on accident, I really do appreciate it. I am doing good. Not all the way there, but mostly good. And appreciate you guys asking. And yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. You can see on your screen here. We're going to break down the timing. And I just want to let you guys know that we do have a severe weather risk. But, I don't think it's any hype, in my opinion. But I do think it's something to talk about here. And yes, welcome back. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Glad to see you guys. And, this is a very interesting setup. It's nothing historic or anything. It's not rare what kind of setup we have because it is July going into August. Okay, so there's really not much different about the setup. But you can see how, I just want to, before we start any of it, it is very narrow. Look how narrow the severe weather outlook is. It's not widespread, it's not everywhere. And if we zoom out across the country, it's almost like Mother Nature just picked St. Louis and the Missouri area and was like, you know what, you guys haven't seen severe weather in a while. So let's break this down. And of course, everyone, I forgot to make my pin. I did everything except get the pin ready. So here we go. So let's break it down what we have here. How are you guys doing this evening? Glad to see y'all here. So it's been a while since we had severe weather, so we're going to go over this again. So in the yellow is a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. So that is a slight risk of seeing severe weather. That means more than one could go severe, and we also expect that one or more could go severe. And it's mainly hanging out almost near like central Missouri, Jefferson City, Lynn, covers a little bit of our counties like Detroit, Warrenton area. And then outside of that, the dark green, this is a marginal area. And what a marginal area is a 1 out of 5. You guys can't see it, but it's a 1 out of 5 on a severe weather scale. Is the lowest without going to 0. And that means an isolated severe storm is possible. And then the light green area, which is almost majority of our Illinois side, is in a 0 out of 5, which is a general thunderstorm, which means we're not expecting any severe weather, but we could see some thunderstorms that could get close to severe weather limits. So that is what the outlook is. If you're unsure what it is, I think it's a giant potato, if you ask me, because it does look like one. But before we go into the timing real quickly, I have been getting messages. Do I think this area could be shifted to the east or to the west or out of it? I think we'll stay into it, but I think the severe weather risk could get pushed to the east, and we'll break down that reason why in just a moment. But let's take a look before we get too caught up in the rest of the action here. We do have a tornado threat, everybody. So we do have a 2% chance of seeing a tornado 25 miles within this light green area. Is the lowest without 0, okay? So this is on the low, and we're not talking strong, but it does cover most of us here. You can see yourself on the map if you're shaded in. Only misses around the Belleville, Collinsville, Edwardsville, Alton, and places over there in Illinois side, but all of the Missouri side, unless, you're at the St. Louis Zoo Wildcare Park, you're not in a 2% tornado risk, but most of us, if not all of us, are in a 2% tornado risk, which is the lowest. Now, one thing I do want to let you guys know, there's no hatch risk over this, so at the current moment, not expecting any strong tornadoes. It's kind of just showing that we could see a brief tornado or two, not an outbreak. So I do want to make that clear. Wind department is why we have the level 2. The level 2 that we do have in place for us is for the wind. You can see this is a 15% chance of seeing damaging winds over 60 miles per hour, and on the outside is a 5% chance that we could see damaging winds greater than 60 miles per hour. So right now it is a very, very low risk here, okay? And one thing I want to let you guys know, the hail, everyone, is out of our area. Besides our few counties in Jefferson City, and because I know we have a couple people over there in Columbia, you guys have a small hail risk, but I do not think that's going to be the main event. So that is the breakdown, and now we are going to go to the best part. We are going to go over the timing. Lauren says, "What's up? How's it going? Glad to see you." Says, "Well done. I appreciate it." So we're going to go over the timing and watch the timing. And as we normally do our live discussion streams, everybody, we always show all the models because sometimes they think a little bit different. Okay, so just can't take a look at one. That's what the weather apps usually do. They just look at one model and then sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. So I'm going to break down everything that you need to know and everything that you should know as we move into Friday. So let's take a look. Let me get everything moved around. We have done some updates since the last time that we have seen you all. And most of it is going on to Kanan's side, the producer side. So frees me up. It lets me talk a little bit more as she gets everything ready. So if you see a couple things different, that is why. So let's take a look at the latest timing, okay? This is the latest timing that we have as of 2:30. And just taking a quick look at it is that National Weather Service is already agreeing with what I'm about to say. So that is good news right there. So let's take a look at the timing. So overnight, we're going to have some brief sprinkles out near central Missouri. That is no factor. Those are going to die off. We're going to stay dry overnight. And as we get into the early morning hours, you can't take it 100%, but just get the idea of what could be happening. We're going to see showers and thunderstorms. They're going to be out to the west as we're starting to wake up here. I think the early morning commute will be just fine. Talking about 4 a.m., 5 a.m. But once we get into around 7 a.m., that's when we're going to see some showers and thunderstorms. Now, with this showers and thunderstorm action in the morning, we are not expecting any severe weather. No tornado threat, nothing like that. Really not paying too closely to this, but we'll keep you updated throughout the morning if it does go a little bit crazy here. Now, look as we get towards the afternoon time. You see how we start to clear off here, and we have dry time. So, you know, the peak instability and heating comes in the afternoon time. That's the hottest part of the day. We start to dry out. So you can see with this model, we're about 2 p.m. We're clearing out. We're going to have some sunny skies. And then watch as we get into the evening time here. Once we get around 5 o'clock, you see how we have these showers and thunderstorms starting to pop up here. And let me see if I can get the pen so you can see what I'm drawing. And hold on 1 second. I have to get the pen. I was not ready. And okay. And I don't see the pen. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Should have been prepared. Okay. So you see how we have these showers and thunderstorms that develop out to our west here. If these are able to remain discrete, you see how they are by themselves. That's where your tornado risk is going to be coming from, okay? Now, once we get in later in time, keep watching the top of your screen. It starts to get very, very messy. And that will reduce the overall tornado threat and will transition starting into a wind threat as we go into the evening and towards the overnight hours, where it'll eventually go along a line with the cold front, which is going to be pushing off to the east. So there is the Muni that is going to be happening. Do think there's going to be delays, if not cancellations, with the Muni. So make sure you're following important updates from them. But once we get into the overnight hours, we're going to see some wraparound rain with the low pressure system, but that is not going to be severe. So with this model, the severe weather potential does look to be around 5 p.m. prime time, 6, 7 o'clock around our immediate area, and then moving out, I would say closely about 1 a.m., but it depends on the speed of this system. So that is one of the timings with the HRRR here. And when it shows those pop-up storms, it struggles to show the intensity. So sometimes it can overreact, sometimes it can underreact. But I'm going to just show you both of them, and then we're going to show you what the factors and the uncertainties with this as well. So take a look at the NAM here. The NAM is a little bit different here. So look at 7 a.m. Storms are still out, just now crossing over central Missouri, just now reaching the Columbia area. If you're going down I-70, it's not really good towards Kansas City in the morning. But look at the storms. It's not really doing too much business. It keeps a lot of the activity north of our area, which is interesting here. Still showing some activity till about 1 p.m. So I think after about 1 p.m., it starts to dry out. There's some consistency on the dry out period, but the length of the dry out period is uncertain right now. Because look, as we get to 5, 6 o'clock p.m., we have showers and thunderstorms starting to blow up. It's not showing the intensity, but you can see they're trying to get going around town. And that's also where we can see our tornado threat. But watch as the cold front moves through here, it really goes into a line. And that's where we could see maybe a quick spin up tornado, but more damaging wind threat as it pushes east through the overnight hours once we get to 10 p.m. So you can see the timing is off with what it's going to do, because I want to show you guys. That is just the ideal of the timing. So it's not set in stone. There's a lot of questions of how long is it going to rain? If it's going to rain, is it going to rain early? So there's still a lot of uncertainties. And I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know that there's no set in stone. There's no tornado outbreak guarantee that's going to happen, even though we do have the risk. But look at this. So say we have the storms clearing out when this does, and they redevelop. As soon as they pop up, we have to start monitoring for a tornado risk, because the model is showing clearing. Look, we have a couple hours of clearing and the peak heating time, which will allow instability. We really need to get to, if you're watching your weather station, we really need to get about 80 degrees, sunshine, no clouds, and we need dew points near the 70s if we really want to get cooking around town. So look at this. We have dry time, and then we have severe storms that pop up. But if we have storms too late in the day and they linger into the afternoon, does this sound familiar, everyone? If they linger too far in the afternoon, the cloud cover can't clear out in time as well. This severe event here on the models is just not going to happen. So basically what I'm getting at, like we mentioned before, this is a conditional risk, but we are seeing some confidence that some redevelopment is going to happen, but we just don't know at the moment how strong it is. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center is holding off on the lighter end of things of uncertainty. So there's still uncertainties, even, let's just say, almost 24 hours before the event, if that, with this system. So like I said, there is a possibility that we wake up tomorrow and it rains till about 2 p.m. and the storms can't get going in the evening time, and it's just a total loss. No severe weather. You just go about your day. Showers and thunderstorms will be possible. But if we do get some clearing, like the models are showing, which you can't always trust the models. The models have been somewhat, back and forth on the accuracy, not really highly accurate, but it gives you a general idea of worst case scenario, what could happen. And any of these storms that could latch on to the boundary or the thermodynamics could produce a tornado, but I don't see the tornado threat being the main event. If we do see anything around the St. Louis metro area and the surrounding areas, I do think it's going to be damaging winds as well. But once it gets to the Illinois side, it'll be later in the day, so that's why intensity drops. So the Illinois side, not really too confident on seeing severe weather. That's why they hold off on expanding it, which I think is a great idea. But I think most of us have a great chance of seeing severe weather. But just to be honest with you, we just don't know. And, the National Weather Service says that we just have to wait and see because remember, we had multiple systems that were raining in the morning. We thought it was going to be a full blown severe weather outbreak, and it decided to rain too long or the clouds linger on. So, those are possibilities. So, like I said, I wouldn't lose sleep over this. I don't want your anxiety to go crazy just because you've seen an upgrade on the severe weather risk, okay? That's just, and it's for the damaging winds as well. It's not the tornado risk got upgrade as well. And, we'll be okay because both things can happen. So, and if we do get the worst case scenario, it's not going to be full blown tornado outbreak. Your house is going to get destroyed. So, like I said, I wanted to come on here and just let you know where we stand because there's no, you know, I'll be honest with you with this system. There is no right answer. Okay. So, even though we're going over this situation, it's not 100% chance that it is going to happen. I'm not saying that it will happen. I think it's possible. I think it's possible, but I just have a lot of I don't feel confident and that it's going to happen because we had a lot of these setups and it just never worked out. We had multiple setups. So let's take a look at the Storm Prediction Center or the National Weather Service, their graphics. Just to go over what I mentioned here. And it's just another source that we use here at TKW. So between 3 and 9 p.m., they have a low chance that some storms will become severe. Well, they say it's low because it is conditional. So one thing I like to show everybody, they put their confidence level here. So severe thunderstorm occurrence is low. Severe thunderstorm locations, medium, and timing is medium. Like the timing and location is pretty much on par, but you can see there are uncertainties as clouds from showers and thunderstorms early in the day may reduce the amount of instability available for thunderstorms during the afternoon. So, and then also it says if severe thunderstorms carry longer into Illinois, the threat will extend beyond 9 p.m. So there's that. So let's take a look at the severe weather threat matrix here. And you can see, look at the tornado. Number of tornadoes expected. You can see we are not circling the outbreak category. It's not none because we do have a tornado risk. Is low. So that is great. And if we do see any, it's on the weak side. Talking about EF0 to EF1. We're not seeing strong tornadoes with this. There's simply not enough time and not long enough for them to remain discrete to produce all those, strong criterias. Isolated hail, we're not really expecting hail. Nickel size are smaller. Some of you guys have sent me messages that you're seeing golf ball size going around. I don't expect that. Nickel size, maybe quarters at most, but hail threat is not really looking likely at the moment. So let's not worry about the severe weather threat in the hail department. Damaging winds is the main concern. Isolated damaging winds, which could cause power outages up to 60 miles per hour. So, we will have damaging winds. It's going to be gusty, even if they're non-severe, 40 miles per hour. I think there was like a microburst the other day in Fenton that knocked a couple trees down. So there is a possibility that at the minimum that we could see some minor gusty winds that aren't strong too severe if it wasn't the workout. But I do expect that we could see maybe one tornado warning. We could get a watch. I do expect a watch to be issued. So like I said, we will be here covering the situation, posting updates. We will be live if needed, if warning gets issued, and if we have the atmosphere recovering. And also, the best thing to do is to check the weather page because the Storm Prediction Center that issues these colored outlooks, they update the outlook 4 times a day on the day of the severe weather event. So they update it one in the morning, one late morning, afternoon, and one in the evening. So the one that we really have to watch is that morning one and the afternoon one because it could shift. They could get rid of it if there's going to be no severe weather outlook. So it could change quickly. So it's one of those days where you want to be prepared for both and you want to check back on the Facebook page constantly to see, where the trends are going because we'll always be honest with you and let you know where the trends are going. We're not going to tell you to, stare at the Facebook page if nothing's going to happen because that's just a waste of time, okay? So, like I said, we're going to keep you taken care of, but I don't want you guys to stress. Don't stress about this system. It is on the lower side. We're not talking about level 3, level 4, or level 5. We're talking about 1 and 2. So we've done these before, okay? We've done these before, and it's just been a while since we had the severe weather outlook. So everybody's going crazy about this situation, but I think we'll be okay. Like I don't think we're gonna have devastating, damage and stuff like that. But it is certainly possible that we could see severe weather, and it's not quietly off the table right now. But it could always change later. So one thing real quickly I do want to tell you guys is that the National Weather Service did put out an update talking regarding the severe weather risk, and I was just going to read that real quick. So basically it says, let's take a look here. It says all indications are by the time it arrives. So the first round of storms. So the first I'm going to keep repeating myself. I have no idea why. So the first round of storms, we'll use this model as I'm talking for a visual reference here. And hey, everyone, you guys are all prepared, okay? You guys don't have to do any extra steps. But basically, so what they're talking about is all indications are by the time. So that system will be sub-severe and weakening. What it will do is cast cloud cover and potentially limit instability for the second round of storms in the afternoon into the early evening. Those storms in the second round more closely tied to the upper level wave, which, you guys don't really need to know about that. And the cold front will hold the severe weather potentially mainly a damaging wind threat, but brief tornadoes also possible. Despite the questions about thunderstorm energy available by then, it is an impressive wave for late July and may be able to compensate for the potentially meager energy. So, it is impressive, not historic, but it is a little bit system that you want to watch, but we have to watch what it does in the morning. So, basically, if we see it raining outside in the morning, we have to see how long it lasts. If it's not raining when we wake up in the morning and it still hasn't rained by the time we get to noon, you might want to stare at your phone at TKW on the Facebook page and prepare for updates. But I think most models are showing rain in the morning, a little bit of dry time in the afternoon, and then some pop-up severe storms in the afternoon. But don't really see an upgrade happening even if we do see severe storms. But that is what we're talking about here. So, like I said, conditional risk. Storms in the morning, limit severe weather in the afternoon, limited storms in the morning, severe weather in the afternoon, and if we get a dry period, then we could have more storms fire up around the area. But tornado threat is not the main topic of concern. Damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour will be the most likely threat with any of the storms. So, if you guys don't have any questions, comments, or concerns, I think we're going to wrap up the live stream because, like I said, we will be okay. We're going to be posting updates throughout the day. Make sure you guys are prepared. And you guys, make sure you get a good night's sleep. Don't stress about this. We'll have another update with the newest model data at 9 p.m. But it's basically just a it's just a waiting game. We just have to see what the morning does, and we just have to go from there. So, like I said, we'll make sure to keep you updated around the clock, and we'll provide live coverage if needed in the afternoon. So if anybody has any questions, comments, and concerns, about the severe weather, let me know in the comments. If not, I think we'll wrap things up. We're going to continue to analyze the data, and we'll post an update probably around like 8:30, 9 p.m. So let me know if you have any comments in the chat, and if I don't see any in a couple minutes, we will wrap things up here shortly. Leslie says, thank you. You're very welcome. Like I said, I think we're all prepared, I wasn't actually gonna, to be honest with you guys, I wasn't really gonna hop on the live stream, but I just wanted to calm everybody's nerves, tell everybody it's okay, make sure we all can relax as we go to sleep tonight. But normally we save the live streams if we're in level 3, 4, 5, or if we have a significant severe weather event. So, but without further ado, I think we're gonna wrap up the live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, we're going to be keeping you updated throughout the day and providing live coverage as needed tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you later on the Facebook page tonight and tomorrow. So you get tonight and you get tomorrow. Okay, you guys, enjoy your evening. Enjoy the nice weather while it lasts. It's going to get cooler again. So step outside while you can. And if I can find the end screen. All right. Have a good night, everybody. See you later. Alright, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in our next update around 9:30 p.m. Have a great night.